Are on, which can only mean one thing: we're getting to awards season again. Welcome all by the way to another exciting first episode of the Perfect Brain podcast, where today we are going to go through all the nominations for the PWHL 2025 awards ceremony, which we now know is going to be taking place on the 25th of June 2025 in Ottawa. So like how last year you had both the entry draft and the awards on in the exact same city, it's gonna be the exact same again this year. I like that. I like it. You can get the draft and the awards done close together, and also do it at the exact same location. It just makes a whole lot of sense. It kind of gives you like that package deal, you know, because a lot of teams in the AHL, they really do make a big effort to bid for the draft. So I think if you can stick the awards on as well, then that's good. Do you two know if you're going to be hosting the awards as well? No. Okay, right. Oh yeah, because yeah. Obviously, they just all remind me that obviously the AHL they can't reveal most of the awards before the awards. Anyway. What about that? Yeah. So I put an idea over in the background. By the way, just in case you're wondering. Okay, going to do a little bit different this year. It's going to be one massive video. I'm not going to bother trying to do any fancy transitions, titles and all that. We'll just... and I think what I'm going to do is going to make my prediction for who I think will win the award. I don't know if we did that last time or not, but I'm going to do it anyway. Probably not wise, given how what happened last year, how some of them went out the window, but... as well. Right, so we're going to do category by category in the order that they were revealed. So like last year, the nominees for each category got announced during the Walter Cup playoffs, and it also meant that the first three nominees, the first three awards, should say, were actually announced while we were in Philadelphia. So, and then the second set of awards got announced when we came back, so during the World Cup finals. So this is probably going to be my first chance to look at these, because I remember when we were for the nominations that got announced when we were in Philly, I did look at those. But the ones that came back from Philly, I didn't look at those because our focus, the trio, was on the World Cup finals. So, I'm going to go through when each of them got revealed before we get started. So, first up, we had Forward of the Year, that was announced on May 13. Defender of the Year was announced on May 14. Goaltender of the Year was announced on May 15. Coach of the Year was announced on May 20. To the first day of the World Cup finals. Rookie of the Year was announced on May 21, and the BG King MVP award, that was announced on May the 22nd, and that's the order I'm going to reveal these to you. But I'll remind you that the award ceremony will be taking place in Ottawa on the 25th of June 2025 at Hard Rock, which means also we're going to be hosting the draft. I believe the casino is where we're going to be hosting the draft. That will be at... Let me get the time for you guys. That will be at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. So that would be about 4:30 our time. Yeah, 4:30 our time in the afternoon here. So just 40 time. Which means we could easily get the award show recording that on that same day. Or depending on what we do with the draft show, because obviously We'll work out. Right, so let's get to it. So I'm going to go in order that the awards were revealed. So we start with the nominees for Forward of the Year. So I'll just remind you what each award is for. So the PWHL Forward of the Year award is presented to the forward who showcased the most outstanding ability at the position throughout the regular season. And your nominees for PWHL Forward of the Year 2025 are Sarah Furrier of the New York Sirens, Harry Knight of the Boston Fleet, and Marie-Philippe Poulain of the Montreal Victoire. Can I just say, it sounds so nice now doing these actual team names, because obviously last year we had to do it, we obviously had PWHL Minnesota, PWHL Toronto. It feels so great now we've got the team names, so it feels like a proper award show. Yeah, but Poulain, Knight, and Furrier, they are your three nominees. So I'll just tell you about each nominee as a whole. So Sarah Furrier, New York Sirens. So Furrier made an immediate impact with the Sirens after being selected first overall in the 2012 PHL draft in Minnesota last year, tying Harry Knight for the league lead with 29 points in 30 games. Her 16 assists shared the league lead and were most by a forward, including 12 at even strength, while her 13 goals ranked 4th on the scoring chart and include a league-leading 5 on the power play. She is the only player in PHL history to score in 5 consecutive games, a streak produced from February the 23rd, so that would have been the takeover tour in Buffalo against Boston, to March the 16th. Also a takeover tour game, that would have been in Detroit against your Frost. From Georgetown is also the only player to receive multiple 4-game minutes in her first professional season, ranking first and second in the league, respectively. Minimum of 100 minutes played. Next up, we've got Harry Knight of the Boston Fleet. Knight showed the largest offensive improvement for the PHL's inaugural season to its sophomore season, going from 11 points in 24 games to 29 points in 30 games, standing alongside Furrier, as we just mentioned, the top of the overall leaderboard. The Fleet's captain had 15 goals, including 4 on the power play. Good for a second place tie in both categories. While her 14 assists is tied for 6 and included 10 primary helpers, which tied for second across the league. She tied for third in the league with 7 multi-point performances and tied for second with 3 multi-goal games. The most memorable of which was on March the 5th, where the 35-year-old from Sun Valley became the first player in the PHL history to score a hat-trick as part of a record-tying 4-point game. Knight led all forwards in time on ice of 6. I can't. Right, when it comes to numbers, I'm not going to bounce words, I'll just say the numbers. So 66626, and finished second overall with 111 shots. One behind the leader, which I'm guessing it's Philippe Poulain, because I've not seen who that leader was, but it was one behind a leader. So should we see if it's Poulain? Last up, we have Marie-Philippe Poulain of the Montreal Victoire. Poulain became the first 2-time finalist for the award, following a campaign where she led the PWHL in goals with 19 and added 7 assists to finish 4th in points with 26 in 30 games. The Victoria captain scoring prowess was evident across a league-high 5 multi-goal games, including 1 hat-trick, and featured a record 6-game winning streak, which of course was snatched by your Mercer Frost and the Jocks and Joes podcast. We'll let Tess and Jenny also get some of the credit as well, since they brought it up and then we went and did it. Oh, I've lost the place now. So it featured a record 6 game-winning goals. Of her 19 goals, 15 were produced at even strength, with 3 on the power play and 1 short-handed. Technically it's a jailbreak. The 34-year-old from Bullsaville set a PHL record for the fastest goal scored just 11 seconds into action on the last day of the regular season when they were at Prudential Centre at the York Sirens, which of course saw them clinch the league championship. And her 10 goals in the second period were the most goals scored in any single period by any player this season. But then set new standards with a record plus-minus rating +17, most shootout goals at 5, and in the playoff, in the face-off circle, in both attempts at 669 and wins 403. Okay, there we go. It's going to be a long show, so I might be making some slip-ups here and here, so just please bear with me. Right, of those 3, it's a hard call. It's a hard call. You've got Faye in there. Yeah, she's a rookie, but I think you're looking more maybe Knight or Plen. Now, I'm gonna lean. My prediction is gonna be Harry Knight will win this award, but I would not be shocked if it does go to Captain Clutch. So that is the nominees for PWHL Forward of the Year Award 2025. The second award we're now going to look at is Defender of the Year. So I remind you of this award. The PWHL Defender of the Year award is presented to the defender who showcases the most outstanding ability at the position throughout the regular season. So, you're going to like this one, Frost fans. The nominees for PWHL Defender of the Year 2025 are Renata Fast of the Toronto Raptors, Sophie Jakes of your Minnesota Frost, and Claire Thompson of your Minnesota Frost. So 2 Frost players in that category there. You think it should be a win for us, but Renata Fast, she does have a case. She does have a case. I think it's going to go to Jakes or Thompson. Yeah, you can argue that's biasy, but hey, wouldn't you be doing that if your team was nominated? Alright, let's go for it. Actually, let's start with Fast. So we start going through our nominees. So first up, Renata Fast of the Toronto Raptors. So Fast impacted the game of at both ends of the ice with her offense, physicality, and stability. She tied Jakes for first in scoring amongst her defenders with 22 points in 30 games. Led the league with 63 hits. Oh, my screen is a bit clean. With 63 hits and led all PHL skaters in time on ice at 7:39.45 and an average of 24:30 per game. The Scepter's alternate captain became the first defender and one of only 2 skaters to record 60 assists in a season, including a record 11 points. 11 power play markers, 11 power play markers. 2 power play goals also contributed to a share of a league high 13 points. There we go. On the advantage, for 6 goals, ranks 3rd in her position and led all regard with 3 game-winning tallies. She was the only defender to score more than 1 game winner. The 30-year-old from Burlington exploded out of the gate with a 6-game point streak to open her second season, the longest points streak by a defender in 2024-25. Next up, Sophie Jakes of your Minnesota Frost. So Jakes' offensive potential came to fruition in her second professional season, going from 10 points in 22 games as a PHL rookie to 22 points in 25 games as a fixture on the Frost blue line. Yeah, you got to bear in mind she did suffer an injury which kept her out for some games, but when she came back, she made all the difference. It was like she never went away. Her 22 points is, as I just mentioned, this time obviously third nominee Renata Fast for the overall lead amongst defenders, while her 0.88 points per game rate led the position and ranked 4th among all active skaters. The 2023 Paddy Kazmaier Award, please if I pronounced that right, recipient led all rear guards with 6 multi-point performances and 75 shots on goal. She finished second amongst defenders and tied for 3rd overall with 15 assists, which included a league high 13 assists on even strength goals to 2. Jakes ranked 2nd in goals from the blue line with 7, including 1 on the power play, and was one of 2 defenders to score a jailbreak goal. The plus 12 rating by the 24-year-old from Toronto ranked 2nd among defenders and tied for 4th in the PHL. I'm learning a new word here, because that's twice now I've seen what was it? Where's it gone? Yeah, rear guard. I thought it was regarding. So that's why my fast just been regarding. So clearly not. It's a completely different. It's the rear guard. Shall I spell it? REARGUARDS. I've never seen that word before. I confused it with regarding. So that's why I did it with fast. Anyway, right. And our last nominee from your Minnesota Frost, Claire Thompson. So Thompson made an immediate impact in her first PHL season, most impressively after spending a year away from hockey to focus on her medical studies. We should mention, of course, that she was a reserve for the Sirens last year, but this is technically her first ball season in the PHL. The 3rd overall pick in the 2024 PHL draft finished 3rd in points among defenders with 18 in 30 games, joining Jakes on a Frost blue line that led the PHL with 63 points. I'm mucking up the numbers here today, really. Oh dear. She scored 4 goals, including getting goals on her birthday. That was the shootout win over Toronto. And it included a league-high 11 primary helpers. Thompson was the only defender to record a 5-game assist streak this season, tied for first with 5 assists on game. Opening goals and tied Jakes in setting up 9 different teammates for goals this season. 27-year-old from Toronto was the first of 4 players and only defender to deliver a record-tying 4-point performance with a goal and 3 assists on September 19th in just her 4 PWHL game. Okay, so I think it's either going to be Jakes or Thompson that will get this award. My money is on Subby Jakes, but I would be very pleased if it was Claire Thompson who got it regardless. I think if no disrespect to Not Fast, but I care about this award. It kind of belongs to the Frosts, but obviously if she wins, fair dues. But I think it would be Sophie Jakes, but I would be more happy with Claire Thompson. And those are your nominees for PWHL Defender of the Year 2025. Right, we're going to move on now to Goaltender of the Year. This episode is going to be a really interesting category this year. Because it's one of those categories where you think it's set in stone. This is going to be an obvious one. And the same with Rookie of the Year, which we'll come to in a moment. But actually, I think now this award might not be so certain as you might think. So I'll go through the nominees in a moment, but I'll just very quickly remind you about the award. So the PWHL Goaltender of the Year award is presented to the goaltender who showcased the most outstanding ability at the position throughout the regular season. And here we go. Your nominees for PWHL Goaltender of the Year 2025 are Anne-Renee Desbienne of the Montreal Victoire, Anne Frankel of the Boston Fleet, and Gwyneth Phillips of the Ottawa Charge. And that's where I'm now thinking, oh, this award might now not be set in stone. Because, hold on. Did us 3 think this was Desbienne's locked in? Yeah. Before the nominees come out, we kind of thought this was going to be Desbienne's locked in, and now I'm not too sure. Because yes, most of Phillips' prowess came during the postseason, but she actually not in those final 2 months of the regular season really stepped up, and I think that might now earn her potentially at least 1 award, but we'll see with this one. Well, we'll go through the nominees now. So we're actually going to start with Anne-Renee Desbienne of the Montreal Victoire. So Desbienne was the backbone between the Pikes for the first place league champions Montreal Victoire, and a significant contributor to her team's success. She led all goaltenders with 15 wins and a 1.86 goals against average and .932 save percentage were top marks among all starters. Of her 4 losses, only 4. Those 2 are just shocked over there. Of those 4 losses she suffered, only 2 were in regulation. The fewest amongst starting netminders. Desbienne was the only goaltender to win 6 straight games this season and achieved the feat during a record stretch of 14 straight starts, allowing 2 or fewer goals. The 31-year-old from Clermont ranked 3rd with 518 saves and was one of only 2 goaltenders to post a 40 save performance. Her 21 appearances and 1-2-2-8 17 minutes trailed only Frankel, the nominee, which got to the moment. Even despite an injury that kept Desbienne inactive for 3 games. Of course, that was a big moment, because obviously Desmond's got injured. And then was it Frankel? Yeah, and then no. It's match by yeah, because Frankel's good. Yeah. So there's match by win first. They're not got that. And then Desmond's out, and then Jock Still's like, who's gonna be in for Canada during the World Championships? Yeah, I mean now. But of course, Desmond did eventually get to Prague, but obviously, of course, yeah. So she's been brilliant this year. Yeah, but yeah. And I think before the nominees came out, was probably the trio's pick to probably win the award, but I think that might not change now. We'll see. Okay, next up, Frankel, the Boston Fleet. So Frankel becomes the first two-time not finalist for this category in a season where she was a fixture in goal for the Fleet, leading the league with 23 starts, 1 18 minutes played, and making a league high 591 saves. She finished second with 12 wins, second among starting goaltenders with a .921 save percentage, and fifth with a 2.28 goals against average. 25-year-old from Chapolka led the league with five performances of 35 saves or more, and put together a stretch of 5 consecutive wins, capped by a shutout victory on February the 12th. Frankel also showed her poise under pressure by going a perfect 3-0 in shootouts this year, in which she turned aside an impressive 12 of 30 attempts for a shootout save percentage of 0.923. And then finally, the rising star, where Phillips will charge. So Phillips made the most of every opportunity in the charge crease during her first professional season. The third round pick in the 2024 PWHL draft was thrust into action in the thick of a playoff race and won 5 of her 8 consecutive starts to end the season, including 6 with 2 or fewer goals allowed, helping secure the team's first ever postseason berth. Overall, Phillips recorded 8 wins in 15 appearances, tied for second with 2 shootouts, the first of those coming in Minnesota, not what was her first start of the season. Posted a 2.0 goals against average, that was third best among starters, and .919 save percentage, that saw a type of third. 24-year-old from Athens became the first PWHL rookie to record a shutout, doing so to mention on January 31st in just her third career start. So well, it was her first one this season, also. It was her first one this season. Anyway. Yeah. Now, I don't know what you're going to say, well, we don't take playoffs into account. But Phillips, when she got opportunities in the regular season, she made the most of them. So I honestly could see Phillips. If we get right, in every award show, whether it's the Brits, the Grammys, the Oscars, the BAFTAs, the Mercury Prize, you name it, Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards, MCB, EMAs, whatever what, we could be here all night, you know. Whatever award it is, there's always at least one big upset. So if we're going to have that in this year, on G25, I think the goal to the year could be the upset. Because it kind of feels like it should be Desbiennes locked in. But you can't deny what Gwyneth Phillips was able to do in the regular season. So I'm sorry, you can't deny that. So it's either going to be Desbiennes or it's going to be Phillips. I'm going to stick with Desbiennes, but I would not be surprised if Gwyneth Phillips takes it. So this could be an interesting one to watch out for on the night. As those are your nominees for PWHL Goaltender of the Year 2025. Now we move on to the Coach of the Year award. And I think there's been a bit of a snub here, guys. There's a bit of a snub. We'll get on to that in a moment. first bit about the award. So the PWHL Coach of the Year award is presented to the head coach whose contributions most impacted their team on ice success throughout the regular season. And the nominees for PWHL Coach of the Year 2025 are Corey Chevrolet of the Montreal Victoire, Carl McLeod of the Ottawa Charge, and Troy Wright of the Toronto Scepters. I know. These are like, what? Again? I know. Yeah, okay. Chevrolet McLeod, I absolutely agree, deserve it, because Corey Chevrolet was a huge reason why the Montreal Victoire became league champions this year, and Carl McLeod was a huge reason why the Ottawa Charge got into the World Cup finals. You can also say it was a huge reason why Czechia did so well on Jones, and I really do feel for Czechia. Czechia deserved that bronze. They deserved that bronze. But what's Troy Ryan doing there? I'm sorry, but I think Ken Clee should have got a nod. I don't think he would beat Chevrolet or McLeod, because I think those two are the ones who are going to contend for the award. But come on, you coach your team to 2 consecutive World Cup titles, and you're not going to consider him for the nomination. Plus, Toronto, only when he played well for the second half. I'm sorry, Toronto had a crap first start. Okay, at one point you thought, oh my god, the Scepters going to go from being league champions in the inaugural year to being boss of the pack with the goal plan sophomore year. It could have happened, because New York actually had a very hot start, but injuries is what cost them in the end. So you can maybe, well, why not give Greg Fargo a shout, because I mean how well he did. So I think the Stars played a lot better under him this year than they did last year, and the coach last year, whose name I've already forgotten. I know that's bad. Why is Troy Ryan not there? I mean, if he gets this award again, I think that's wrong. That's wrong. It has to be Chevrolet or McLeod. But I'll talk about it's going to get it in the end. Right, we'll go for the nominees as a whole. So we're going to start with Corey Chevrolet of the Montreal Victoire. Chevrolet, a native of New Glasgow, is a finalist for the award a second straight season. Yeah, in fact, Carl McCarr is the only one who was not nominated for the award last year. Last year, the nominees were Chevrolet, Ryan, and Courtney Kessler of the Boston Fleet. And I thought that's who was going to get it, but of course I got them wrong. So she's for finalist again for the second straight season after guiding Montreal to first place in the league champions, in the PWHL standings, for the first time in team history, with 53 points in total, powered by a 12-7-3-8 record. The Victoire held their first place position since January the 29th. Yeah, it was interesting. Those first couple of weeks, it was kind of, you know, us the Sirens jostling with the first place, Ottawa there in third, and I think Montreal was hanging on to fourth. Coming to the end of January, that's when the things started to shake, and Montreal never really relinquished it. So, great work there. So they had an offense that scored the second most goals, 77, and allowed the fewest, 67, in the PWHL this year. They were the only team in the league to produce both a 6-game winning streak from January 17 to February 15, and a 4-game winning streak that was from December the 6th to December the 30th. They led all teams with a .556 road record, tied for top marks on home ice at 0.622, and led the league with 12 one-goal wins, which included a league-high 7 beyond regulation. Yeah, Montreal was a dominant force on us this year. These two did not want to play Montreal in the playoffs because of given how well the Victoire had done on home soil this year. So that was just to see going forward. Montreal was the only team to lose no more than 2 straight games in regulation this year. No team had fewer than their 5 multi-goal losses. Next up, Carl McLeod and the Ottawa Charge. So McLeod from Spruce Grove led Ottawa to their first ever berth in the World Cup playoffs, posting a 12-4-2-12 record for 44 points and a third place finish, certified with an overtime victory on the final day of the regular season in Coca-Cola in Toronto. The Charge's 12 regulation wins tied for most in the league and is 4 more than their inaugural season total, representing the largest improvement year over year and achieved with a squad that boasted only 2 players among the league's top 20 scorers. Yeah, I felt the Charge were the most improved team this year, so I've already said it already on our stream after we won the World Cup last week. Watch out for Ottawa next year. That's the team you need to watch out for next year, because I think the Charge, they're going to come back swing, because they know they can get there, and they got close. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ottawa goes back to the finals next year. Maybe does it, because we're not going to be World Cup champions forever, and we know that. So maybe Ottawa's going to do it. Maybe Ottawa's going to do it next year. We'll see. We will see. We'll see. Because that we've yet to have that appear. So we've yet to have somebody lose the World Cup finals one year, get back in the next year and win it. We've not had that. We've not had that yet. We've had back-to-back champions. We've not had that scenario happen yet. So we'll see how that goes. Or we've not had a rematch. Those are 2 things they're missing: a rematch and someone who lost one year but won it the next. That's only been missing in terms of World Cups. Anyway, there's still time. This league's still young. And we'll get back to Carl McLeod and her nomination. Yeah, they were the only team to have 2 3-game winning streaks in regulation, and their 4-game win streak on the road to close the season was the longest in the PWHL. Ottawa tied for first in-game opening goals with 18, had the highest percentage of points by defenders of 29.3%, tied for second in percentage of goals scored or even strength, that's at 78.9%. They scored a record 4 short goal or jailbreak goals. Clearly war against us, which was a killer. That was a stressful night. Right, and finally, Troy Scepters. Ryan, who hails from Springfield, could become the league's first 2-time award recipient after helping Toronto secure a second straight top to finish with 48 points on a 12-3-6-9 record. The Scepters tied for the league's best home record, tied for the lead with 9 multi-goal wins, shared the league's longest win streak at 6 from February the 1st to February 23rd, and propelled Toronto from last place to just 2 points out of first, and coincided with a record 9 straight games with a power play goal. Yeah, Toronto's Toronto's power play loss this season was just lethal. You did not want to go in the box against them. Overall, Toronto's special teams efficiency was a difference maker with a league best power play unit, 25.8%. That was 7 percentage points better than the next ranked team, and a pair of killers that finished third with 82.1%. The Scepters were the only team not to concede a jailbreak goal this year. Well done for them. I just think that it would be Rob Troy to win, because Toronto only came alive when Knights came back. Just saying. I think it's going to be good. It's going to be between Corey Shepard and Carl McLeod. And I think, right, if we were looking at it overall, it would be Carl McLeod. But because we only take the regular into account, I think it will be Corey Shepard. That's my suggestion. But I wouldn't be too surprised if Carl McLeod got it. But I think it will go to Corey Shepard just because they base it on the regular season as a whole. They don't take parts into account. But those are your nominees for PWHL Coach of the Year 2025. Okay, the last one we're looking at is the Rookie of the Year award. And this is like the goaltender year. It's one of those categories you think, yeah, before the nominees come out, yeah, I pretty much know who's going to win that. And the nominees come out, like, ooh, not now! These two are literally chancing one of the nominees' names. They've already laid their cards on the mast. I'll tell you who that in a moment, but first I need to find the award. Stop it! You're putting me off! Honestly. The PWHL Rookie of the Year award is presented to the player who showcased the most outstanding ability throughout their first regular season of professional play. Players eligible for the Rookie of the Year award must be competing in their first season of professional hockey in North America and begin the season in their 25th birth year or younger. So for season 2, oh god, this makes me feel really old. For season 2, that's players born from 1999 onwards. I think last year there were a few exceptions because it was the inaugural season, but they've now pretty much timed that rule. Oh my god, can you imagine when we get to like the 10th anniversary, 50th anniversary of the league and I'm going to feel really, really old. I'm going to get it! They're still chanting who they want to win. The nominees for PWHL Rookie of the Year Award 2025 are Sarah Fillier of the York Sirens, Jennifer Gardner of the Montreal Victoire, and Gwyneth Phillips of the Ottawa Charge, who these two want to win. These two want to win it. And you know what? I think she can. I think she can do it. I think she can take that off Sarah Fillier. I think she can. I think she can do it. Should bear in mind that this award obviously was won by a Frost player last year. It was won by Grace Sunwinkle last year. So, anyway, but we'll focus on this year's nominees. And we'll start with, I believe, Sarah Fillier. Yes, but I'm going to start with Sarah Fillier of the York Sirens. So we'll see. Is it going to be a repeat what we had? Because I remember when we did this last year, they pretty much copied. If there was a repeat, if there was somebody who was nominated in another category, they just copied and pasted what they took for that category here. So we'll see how see if that's the case here now. So here we go. So Fillier was selected first overall in the 2024 PHL draft by the York Sirens and seamlessly elevated her game at the professional level, setting rookie records in all offensive categories. The Princeton University graduate tied for the league lead with 29 points in 30 games, a total 10 points higher than any rookie in PWHL history. Her 13 goals ranked 4th amongst all skaters and included a league-high 5 power play goals, while her 16 assists tied for most all-time in a PHL season, and featured 12 helpers at even strength. The 24-year-old from Georgetown is the only PHL player to score in 5 consecutive games and to record multiple 4-game assist streaks, one of which she compiled in her first 4 games with the Sirens. Next up, Jennifer Gardner of the Montreal Victoire. So Gardner asserted herself as one of the league's emerging young talents by stepping into the Victoire lineup and contributing to the team its first place success. Selected in the second round, the 11th overall in the 2024 PHL draft, the Ohio State University graduate finished second among rookies with 18 points in 30 games, including 5 goals, which tied for 4th in her draft class, and 13 assists that ranked second. She found chemistry with the league's top goal scorer, Marie-Philippe Blem, setting up 6 of her captain's goals to tie for second most assists by a teammate across the PHL. Among rookies, the 23-year-old from Surrey tied Fillier for the second highest plus-minus rating, +10, ranked 4th in power play power play points at 6 and burning shots on goals at 55. And finally, we're fit on the overall charge. This is the first goaltender to be voted a finalist in this category, following the most impactful season by a rookie at the position in league history. The third round pick in the 2024 PWHL draft from Northeastern University led all rookie netliners in games 15 wins, 8 shutouts, 2 goals against average 2.11 and save percentage 0.919. Among all goaltenders, she was one of only 3 with multiple shutouts with 2, while her GAA ranked 3rd among starters and her SP percentage tied for 3rd best. The 24-year-old from Athens made PWHL history as the first rookie to record shutout during the 21st, achieving the milestone in just her 3rd career start. The netminder capped off her impressive campaign by backstopping the charge in their final 8 games of the regular season to help secure the team's first ever playoff berth. And can I also mention, won the Alara Cloth Playoff MVP Award despite by the losing team. Just want to mention that, because it's not been mentioned on either of the nominee categories she nominated for. Right, so do I side with my fellow trio, or do I stick with what was my pre-nominees pick? Because I think all 3 of us, they're still going! They are still chanting Phillips. Even they would agree with me that we kind of felt Sarah had this on lock, because like Taylor Heisey did last year, she came to the league and just pretty much walked it. But you cannot deny Phillips her flowers. She made the most of every opportunity she got, so I would not be surprised if Greta Phillips comes in and takes this. So yeah, I know a lot of people are going, it should be Sarah Phillips, but you know what? I'm going to side on my third trio. I'm going to say I think Greta Phillips should get this, but I would not be surprised if it goes Sarah Phillips. But those are your nominees for PWHL Rookie of the Year 2025. And so we come to our final award. It's the MVP award. It's the Billie Jean King MVP award. I'll remind you of this category. This award, I should say. So the PWHL Billie Jean King MVP award is presented to the player considered most valuable to their team's success throughout the regular season. And the nominees for the Billie Jean King MVP award 2025 are Renata Fast of the Toronto Scepters, Harry Knight of the Boston Fleet, and Marie Plein of the Montreal Victoire. This is a tough category, because I think all 3 can easily make a case, but it's going to be a tough category. We'll go through the nominees now. So we'll start with Renata Fast of the Toronto Scepters. So Fast is the first defender to be voted a finalist for this award, recognising, yeah, because last year the nominees for this award last year were the exact same nominees for Forward of the Year. It was a bit literally copy and paste. But anyway, with regards to Fast, she is the first defender to be voted in this category, recognising her contributions at both ends of the ice for the second place Scepters. No player spent more time on the ice this season than Fast, with a league leading 739.45 and an average of 24.39 per game. The alternate captain recorded multiple hits and placed multiple shots in 12 games this season. Recorded multiple hits and blocked multiple shots. Sorry, I've just read that. Sorry, it's been a long show. It's been a long day. I told you I was going to muck up. 5 more than any other player, and was the first player to rank in the top 3 in both categories. That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to finish it off. Sorry, it's been a long night. It's been a long day. She scored 6 goals and was one of only 2 skaters to produce a record 16 assists, finishing tied for first at her position and 8th overall with 22 points in 30 games. The 30-year-old from Burlington was the only defender with 3 game-winning goals, a 6-game point streak, and tied for the league lead with 4 multi-assist games. Her 13 power play points! They did it again. Tied for the most in PWHL history and included a record 11 assists to help Toronto reach a league high 24.4% power play success rate. Next up, here we now the Boston Fleet. Ninth consideration for the award follows a campaign where she tied for the PHL scoring lead with 29 points in 30 games and became one of 2 players to lead their team outright in goals, 15 and assists with 14 within a single season. The Fleet's captain led all forwards in time on ice at 6.6626 and set new benchmarks for offensive production as the first player to record at least 15 goals and 10 assists this season, all while showing a league high 18-point improvement from season 1. Knight tied for third with 7 multi-point performances, tied for second with 3 multi-goal games and her 6th game with at least 1 goal and 1 assist, tied for most in the PHL. The 35-year-old from Sun Valley had the most dominant 5-game stretch in the league this season with 11 points, 7 goals, 4 assists from March 5th to 26th, beginning with a hat-trick as part of a record time 4-point game. The performance contributed to Boston's first 9-game point streak in team history. Yeah, Boston were really good when we got to January, February, getting those points. Yeah, and finally, Marie Phillips had the Montreal Victoire. We're almost there. 1 week. You see the exhaustion on my face and the tone of my voice. We're almost there. Lastly, Marie Phillips then became the first 2-time finalist of this award after leading the PHL in goals and helping the Victoire capture first place, the league championship, for the first time in team history. Overall, the captain scored 19 times with 7 assists to rank 4 with 26 points in 30 games. She accounted for 25.7% of Montreal's goals this season, representing the highest share of a team's offensive by any PHL player. Pelen never went more than 2 games without a point or 3 games without a goal. Her team posted a 10-4-0-4 record, .704, when she recorded a point, compared to 2-3-3-4, so .47, without. 34-year-old from Boursteville scored a record 6 game-winning goals and led the league with 5 multi-goal games that included the first hat-trick of the season. She set new standards with a record plus-minus rating of +17, most shootout goals for 5, face-off attempts 669, face-off wins 403, and her talent was recognised a league high 12 times as one of the game's 3 stars. Okay, I think Pelen's gonna get this, but you could easily make a case for any of them. I'm literally scratching my head thinking, right, who's gonna get this award? Because I don't think whoever wins it would be a shock. I think whoever gets this award would be deserving of it. So we'll see. I think it would be for them, but I could be wrong. But those are your nominees for the Billie Jean King MVP Award 2025. And with that is it. All of the nominees for all the awards for this year. I'm hoping for the award show we're gonna do it a bit more glamorous. We'll actually have the transitions, positions and all that. We'll try and make it a little more better than we did last year. But obviously, because this is just a nominations reveal show, we don't need to do it too fancy. But yeah, so there we go. So it's gonna be really interesting. I'll remind you of the details. So the PWHL 2025 award ceremony will be held on June 25th in Ottawa at 11:30 a.m. Eastern at Hard Rock, Ottawa. That's going to be 4:30 in the afternoon here in the UK. Should we work out what it is in Central and Pacific? Because obviously we've now got Vancouver and Seattle joining. Let's do that. Just finish off the show. That's 10:30 in the morning at Central Time. And then in terms of Pacific, so in case Seattle Vancouver fans will follow along. 8:30 in the morning Pacific Time. So really the UK's got the best time difference there. Yeah, so 11:30 Eastern, but for years in the UK that's 4:30 in the afternoon. And we'll see. We might. I think we'll record the results on the right. It depends on times. If the awards finish by the time I'm up here to record, we can do it. Otherwise, we'll do the draft recap and then we'll do the awards the next day or two afterwards. Yeah. Then that week we're gonna do draft recap and awards show. That's what we're gonna have in that week, and then that. No, because obviously in July we're going to record the end of year review show. No, never mind. Okay, it's been a long night. There you go. So thank you so much for us. Are there any shock surprises for you guys? Did you expect that to be the case? Let us know in the comments below. And until then, then the glam rocks get put away till awards night, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.